I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. What a great way to start. Okay, just a couple changes this evening. Sorry that we carried over, but we have a really busy evening this evening. We were going to amend the agenda, board members, because we did not get discipline completed. That's where there will not be discipline motions in the beginning here. We will do them at the end of the meeting, so we will go back into closed session after this open session. We will take no action except for discipline motions. We'll come back into open session just for discipline motion to confirm those later on this evening. So therefore, we will have item number consent agenda and agenda approval amended by taking the discipline motions and putting them at the end of the meeting after like 17. So we're going to go back into closed session. Then we're going to come back into open session for the discipline motion after at that point. Any questions? Is that okay? Okay. So I would entertain the motion for the agenda, which contains the consent agenda, and with the amendment that we will go into closed session and then come back in open session just for only discipline motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Dr. Newman?
Yes.
Mrs. Strager?
Yes.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. That brings us to item number 5, which should be public comments.
Rachel?
Good evening. I am Rachel Siebert. I teach math at Danville High School, and have also been our blood drive coordinator since May of 2016. And this evening, I am glad to present to you 2 of our seniors who will be earning the Impact Award at graduation. This earns them special red cords to wear with their graduation robe and a designation on the program as well. This is Sophia Foley. She's a senior. She has donated 6 times, 6 pints of blood while in high school. And we hope she continues that as she continues on into her adult life. And then we have Colton Morgan. Colton has donated 8 times, so he has donated a full gallon at this time. I am so proud of these young people and the example that they are setting for their peers, and I hope this is a lifelong commitment that they make to helping others so selflessly.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Would you like to say something?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
Colton, you gonna pass?
I mean, the main reason why I decided to help people, like by donating, is because with me donating, it does save lives, and it also provides me the opportunity to help others with benefits. So,
Thank you.
glad to be able to do something like that.
Very good.
And each pint that they have donated has had the potential of saving 3 lives here locally. So
Great.
Colton has potentially saved 24 lives already, and Sophie has potentially already saved 18 lives. So again, so ridiculously proud. I have 2 more seniors who are really close to earning this designation, so I'm hoping to bring them back to you after our next blood drive in April.
Very good.
Thank you, guys.
That's awesome. And as she said, that is hopefully a beginning of your future of giving to society. So we certainly appreciate that, and thank you for giving them a great start. So that's awesome. So I'm sure we'll hear great things from them also in the future. Next. Thanks, guys. Congratulations again. Keep it up. We've already done enough. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's it? Wow. Great comments. Thank you. Item number 6. Avid. Yeah, I was gonna say, no one was gonna get up. I was gonna say,
Everybody
this is a
got
big
up.
thing, yeah. Now the whole room got up.
The whole squad. No, it's not.
Summer Institute.
I think they're going to bring, there you go. All right. Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Geddes. I'm Justin Thorlton, principal of Northeast Elementary Magnet School, and this is the rest of the school district represented with principals and AVID coordinators and lots of people that care about AVID. So we just wanted to come and say how much we appreciated the AVID Summer Institute. What it is, I believe it's in Dallas, Texas again this year. It's a 3-day event. It's action-packed, keynote speakers, hands-on activities, some team time with your own group, collaborative sessions, just lots of people around the country talking about how to help kids achieve their goals. So I know at our school, we are definitely working towards our school improvement plan, reading and math. AVID just helps get that common language across our building, and then in turn it gets a common language across the whole school district, which is those best teaching practices. So we really appreciate everything AVID does for us and appreciate you guys supporting it. And so I think everybody's going to talk a little bit about how much they love AVID. Yeah, I think we all have slides. So look, here's a little bit, 17th to the 19th of June in Dallas, Texas. There's everybody last summer that loves some AVID. And yeah, I believe Edison Elementary School is going to talk a little bit about it. Kristen.
Okay, I have 2 staff members who have never been able to attend an AVID conference locally or away, so they are ready to kind of breathe some fresh air into the program. They're also excited to collaborate, like he said, work on our reading and our math goals, and they're both the same grade level, so they're going to come back and then share with the rest of the building.
Awesome.
Good evening. Glad to see everyone. I'm Amber from Liberty, and I have a new teacher who, if you walked into her classroom, you would never imagine it was her first year teaching. And every professional development that she's attended, she comes back and she utilizes that. AVID is amazing. And you'll see I put on my slide, we need the Kool-Aid. After I did that, I thought that was kind of inappropriate, so please forgive that. However, the Kool-Aid is what keeps us going. As educators, you know, we need that rest, that downtime, and sometimes refreshers. AVID is a refresher. And when you go there and you see the student speaker, it's amazing. And AVID is not what we teach. We teach science, social studies, language arts. AVID is how you teach it. So it's very integral to our building and to our districts. So I would like to keep taking my site coordinator and the people in my building who are new and have gained a newfound interest in AVID. I feel like we're getting a breath into Liberty, and AVID is one of those key pieces. It's a system in our building, and we want to just continue to foster that system so we can raise the rigor and get our students to where they need to be.
Thank you.
Mark Denman, come on.
Mark Denman. Hey, good evening. I'm Ms. Sollers, principal at Mark Denman Elementary. This is Lori Grant, our AVID coordinator at Mark Denman. We are very proud at Mark Denman Elementary to be AVID school-wide. So everybody from kindergarten up to 4th grade, they know the AVID language, they know the AVID strategies, they know the AVID way of doing things. It is always exciting for us to have veteran staff who have been trained and doing all the things, but then also have our new staff. So some of the people included in our astronauts that we said that we're sending off out to that we hope to send off to Avid Summer Institute are some of our new teachers. And they are wanting to learn these ways and be able to incorporate it into their classes and instruction. And so it's exciting to see them get excited about this initiative, not just within our school, but within our district, and then become future leaders too. We also, when we came back this past summer, our site team decided to meet before school even started because we were so excited to take the things that we learned over Summer Institute and kind of marry them to our school improvement plan, but also into like, oh, I forgot what I was going to say, but to align those initiatives in our building. So we worked on, really developing some goals that worked on our culture in the building, but also worked on student engagement and how we could put those together to not only reach our school improvement goals, but also reach our AVID goals as well. And one other thing, just, those path trainings that we have in the summers are super beneficial and throughout the year for those newer staff members to be able to continue to get that support and get that training to know kind of what the veteran teachers know. So it's really beneficial for us as well. Is there anything to add,
No,
Lori?
I was just going to say that our new staff want to get that training, so then when they come back and they work with their mentor teachers and they work with their teams, they're able to see how it's embedded in our curriculum. And so we've done some of that modeling already, so we're excited to get them trained and come back and see where they could take off to.
Yeah, so we're just appreciative for the opportunity. Thank you.
See who's next. Mead Park.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes, board. Tanner DeLawyer, principal at Mead Park. Avid looks different in every building. It's it's a system that we have in place across the district. It's what our kids from K-12 go through. Really, what about the path trainings and the summer institutes that I've really taken past couple years? No excuses for our students. We could sit all day and say, well, these are COVID kids. These are kids who, come from poverty. These are kids who are disadvantaged. But really, it raises the bar. It raises the expectations. And, and that's what Avid's about. It's about the rigorous instruction. It's not giving them an out. And, it's been great with Mead Park partnering with DAC right next door. And I keep talking to Alexis Simmons over there, and I'm talking to Dawn Nasser at the, for the tournament. Like, I cannot get my kids on campus enough, and that's something that they are seeing as Avid goes on. They're looking at like, oh wow, I could do this job. We even started a STEM club this year. Avid focused about careers, how we can make it in our own community, in our own industry that we have here in Danville. I have a few staff members I want to take with me down to Dallas, and it's really aligned with our school improvement on our ELA. We're really wanting to focus because they have some great ELA courses that tie into technology, raising the rigor in your classroom, literacy, goes along with the ISB new literacy plan. It's great. No excuses, and that's my staff has really taken that on too. So, I'm hoping that we can have the opportunity. So, thank you.
Northeast, we've already spoke. How about Southwest, Mr. Prophet?
Good evening, board members. I'm Charles Prophet. Good evening, Dr. Gaddis. With me, I have Chelsea Mechna and Ray McNeil, who are AVID coordinators. And on behalf of Southwest Elementary, we want to first thank you for allowing us to come here tonight and talk to you. We are requesting to participate in the Summer Institute, as well as bringing a pathway to Danville for all of our staff to participate. We have 10 teachers who would like to participate in the AVID pathway here training, and 2 who would like to participate in the AVID Summer Institute. The pathway training will allow our staff to gain valuable experience to support both the school AVID goals and our school improvement plan while helping to meet the district goals and our WICR through learning best classroom practices. Our site team has developed professional development goals for this year, and with this additional training, we'll develop our professional development plan for this year for our early release days. This will give our staff common insight on the best ways to enhance student learning while using the district curriculums for all of our subjects. We have increased our college and career readiness goals, and we'll have our collaborative college career fair this spring. Exposing students at an early age to trade schools, community colleges, and university is key to preparing them for their future. The Summer Institute is the only location where I and at least one other staff member can obtain the administrative training needed to lead our work. We know that meeting the need of adult practices will enhance and unlock student potential while building a school-wide system and continue to let these coyotes howl. Anything y'all would like to add?
No, I was just gonna say that our career fair is April the 19th. If you guys wanna stop out, it's from 8:30 to 10:30.
And we'll have yoga. Merritt Spicer will be there to kick off at 8. And then Dax coming during lunches. And at the end of the day, we have Respawn Gaming coming. I think they're bringing their trailer out. So it should be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yoga?
Probably.
Yeah, yoga. We did it last year too. It's a lot of fun. The kids love it.
Okay.
Southview Upper Elementary.
They
Good.
can bend.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Geddes. I'm Robin Fluno, and I'm the principal of Southview Upper Elementary School. After about 6 or 7 people go in front of you, they take a lot of what you have to say. So when I first came to Southview, it was very divided. 5th grade did PBIS, and 6th grade did AVID. So we've tried to blend those two together, and I'm happy to say that I have 2 new, at least 2, maybe 3, I'm working on that one, new 5th grade teachers that will be attending, at, if you allow, AVID Summer Institute in Dallas, which is huge for my building. I also have some old seasoned staff members that, you know, in the not so near future will be retiring, so we've got to get those new teachers in there and get them acclimated to AVID. AVID is a huge part of our school improvement plan. It's in everything that we do, the practices, the activities. It's not the curriculum, it is just best practices all the way through everything that we do. Getting the kids up and engaged. It not only is it for English language arts and math, but it also is part of the attendance. Because if kids like what they're learning and they feel engaged, then they come to school. So it also should help with our attendance. Our staff is wonderful about providing professional development when it comes to having gone to training. I have probably, sorry y'all, the best site coordinator in the district. It's Bob Cundiff, and he is absolutely amazing. We have a well-run site team.
I know.
I said sorry, y'all. Sorry, Ange, I love you. Mary Ellen can attest to it. She comes to our meetings. But he is amazing. And everyone, I completed my slide, and I had missed the site team meeting from that day because I was doing something else. And I sent Mr. Cundiff my slide, and he sent it back, and he said, this is exactly what we talked about at this morning's meeting. So we are all on the same page at Southview with what we want from AVID and how it fits into improving the climate and the learning at Southview. So we hope you consider letting us go to Summer Institute. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Fluno. And we have KDBA.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Geddes. I've got Team KDBA with me. I'm Mitzi Campbell, the principal of KDBA. I have my assistant principal, Jamie Scovern, and my AVID site coordinator, Kayla Nixon. I did start up there with our vision statement. KDBA ensures excellence from all for all, with a heavy emphasis on from all for all. I will say that the KDBA staff shows up and gives their best to every student every day, and AVID is a framework that absolutely helps us do that. AVID's fully inclusive. It's adaptable to all settings as well as all abilities. I am requesting that we send an administrator as well as our site team coordinator and up to 5 staff members. One thing, I know my staff loves to be fed. They want more information. They want to be better every day. And I think that attending AVID Summer Institute is a really great way of investing in building the instructional capacity for our educators. So, yeah,
Board. Hi, Dr. Geddes. Just to kind of dovetail on the Summer Institute, if you see on our slide, we have our goals, our AVID goals for the year, and using Summer Institute when we have all the major players in the same space and we're all excited about things that we're learning, we have a chance to look at that quantitative and qualitative data and really make our plan, which is where we made those goals last year. So our goals for KDBA are common AVID strategies and practices, which sounds broad, but we have middle school and high school, so they needed some wiggle room. Providing increased exposure and opportunity for students in college readiness. We've already done so many neat things where we've got people coming in, kids going out this year, and giving them more exposure to both career and college. And then incorporating WICR, and I'm not sure if anybody said what WICR is, but WICR stands for Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading. And this year we were focusing on writing, collaboration, and organization. We still do the other two, but those were areas when we had our little think tank that we felt that our kids could really benefit from at KDBA. So I have the unique experience of having been in the classroom for over 20 years and I'm just coming out. So now being on the other side, I realize that AVID not only makes really amazing students, but it also makes really amazing educators. So Summer Institute is something that we all benefit from. Did you have anything?
Thank you.
Northridge, come on down, Mr. Gorley.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes, members of the board. I'm Michael Gorley, building principal at Northridge. With me, I have Angie McCool. Being new to the district, this is the first district I've served in that is an AVID district. But I had the great opportunity back in October to go along with Ms. McCool to a workshop over in Indianapolis presented by AVID to learn more about the initiative, and came away from that one-day workshop very impressed. Would say the thing that stuck with me the most is the fact that this is research-based best practices. Any PD you can send staff to, the big question always coming from staff is, well, what am I going to get from this? What can I take back to my classroom and make an immediate impact on my students and their learning and their opportunities? AVID provides that to them. And it is done in such a way where it encapsulates a lot of, again, well-known best practices in an easy to format and easy to use package for our teaching staff. The other thing in terms of the Institute, the Summer Institute, I would say you all know how challenging teaching has become on the daily grind of teaching the young children in our community. To send staff to get refreshed at an institute like this, to hear keynote speakers, those who are experts and have researched and have lived this, is rejuvenating for them. Long year, in June when this hits, probably the last thing they want to do is to go to this, but they come out of those experiences ready to go into the summer, prepare for the fall, and our students will benefit from that. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. McCool because she certainly knows more about the specifics than I do, being new to it. But again, very impressed from the one-day workshop that I did attend, and highly encourage you to support us. And the only other thing I would add, in other districts that I've served into, a lot of the initiatives that come and go do just that. They come and go. This is long-standing and well-proven. The staff know it. As our kids come up through the system, they benefit from that familiarity. It's nothing new that they have to adapt to as they make those transitions. Ms. McCool?
I'll be brief since we've had a lot of the key points already pointed out. But I did want to mention that we have gone through a lot of changes at Northridge in the last few years, and one consistent thing we have is AVID, which helps with transition and changes in staff and changes in the building. It really helps have a consistency and a building ground. So we've tried to incorporate a lot of our PD through AVID to help bring the older staff, the staff that's been there, and the new staff together, so there's some uniformity. And we're seeing the work that the elementary schools are putting in, and Southview. So we're seeing that come up and build, and then we have the opportunity to build on it even further. So we would really appreciate, as the younger students are working that hard, to continue that with their reading and math, because the commonality and not having to reteach strategies and to build on that really helps them delve deeper into the content. So we benefit from all the work the elementary schools do, and hopefully the high school sees even more benefit after they leave KDBA in Northridge. So we appreciate the opportunity to continue to learn and grow and develop with AVID. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and let's cap it off with Danville High School.
Hello, Dr. Geddes, Board of Education. I have with me our site coordinator, Ms. Taylor Heston, who she really is phenomenal. I'm not really going to talk at the slide too much. I want to give you a little bit of more specific context of the way we approach AVID and how we use it at the high school. AVID really is the main lever we use for improvement of Tier 1 instruction on the front end. We really build our professional development calendar each year, and we start with AVID of what are we going to instruct, how often do we need to do it, how are we going to space the professional development out incrementally that makes sense and is digestible for staff, and then we fit everything else around that. So we have done professional development this year in the reteaching and integration of our 5 academic expectations, which are purposeful movement, quick writes, purposeful reflection, essential questions, and engaging students through multiple modes of content engagement within each class period. And Ms. Heston does a phenomenal job. These are teacher-run PDs. No administrator's done a PD on any of these this year at the high school. It's all been done by her. She even did a great professional development on how you can integrate strategies to hit on more than one of these academic expectations using Taylor Swift as a case study, which the staff really enjoyed. I actually got several comments from teachers after she did that, saying that was the best professional development I have actually ever received. And I enjoyed it quite a bit myself, if I'm being honest. And I don't really listen to Taylor Swift that much. The other thing that I like about it is the way we've been able to do the PD is the staff are not just given the strategies, but they're taught experientially. And the staff are going through the strategies to learn them and doing that together, which I greatly appreciate. And we have since moved on to guided note-taking, and she even did a PD today on the critical reading process. And so I want to give you some kind of specific strategies in the way we do that. And then our walkthrough form is also aligned to these strategies. So when administrators are going in for walkthroughs, these are the things that we're looking for, and that's the lens in which we give staff feedback on. And so really, AVID is the lens and the driving force for our efforts to improve instruction on the front end before even getting to respond to the students who aren't learning how to do it well and continually do it better on the front end, so there are less students in need of remediation. I'll also add I personally have actually enjoyed and gotten a lot out of the district AVID meetings we've had a couple times this year. I feel like they've challenged me, and the facilitators have challenged me, made me think critically about instructional leadership as well. So we would appreciate any consideration on sending DHS staff members to Summer Institute. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more thing. We definitely love AVID. I did want to thank Ms. Lori Grant for putting this slideshow together. We each put our own touches on it, but as you can see, you know, we have a love for AVID in the school district. So AVID on 3, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of weak. Can we try it again? 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Yeah, the second take was better.
Okay, so the reason for all this AVID this evening is that you would like to go to the Summer Institute and for us to approve the AVID budget.
Ooh, I have money.
Yeah.
I have money talk. Do you have
Yeah.
questions about or how much it costs and all
Yeah.
that good stuff? I know Kelly Truex, their very own money manager, so she's budgeted for 75 teachers to attend AVID PAT training or to attend local PAT training, and what, 2,000 per teacher at 75 teachers at Summer Institute because they're not doing the PAT training. So to the Summer Institute at AVID in Dallas. So 150,000 total, 75 teachers. Title I.
Okay, so the motion will be to approve Summer Institute budgeted for $150,000, okay? I would entertain a motion by my board members so we can discuss this.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Now, we can ask questions. Board members. Because if you don't have any, I have some. Okay, just a couple things. This Summer Institute, I'm just trying to grasp, I'm going, we're sending 500 people, which I know it's not. But it seems like that, so, which is good. That's great. This is exciting, and we've heard about this, and it's been, this is Minneapolis, and now we're down here. Okay, so we've seen this progress, and I've heard much better about Dallas than Minneapolis, correct? Okay, say I pay attention. Okay, when you go to the Summer Institute, is there 100,000 people down there? I mean, what is it? Is it really huge? Give me an idea. I mean, is it?
We take charter buses from the hotel to the convention center, and there's 2 convention centers, and I mean, it's packed like wall to wall in your session.
Like 20 sessions.
Okay, so like every restaurant's gonna have Avid people in it, and you're gonna see all your Avid buddies everywhere, and you all wear Avid shirts everywhere? Okay, I mean, it's kind of cool.
Network, and you try to recruit people to Danville after that.
Yeah. Okay, but and it's in June, so it's gonna be about 94 degrees in Dallas? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, I know it's hot there. Okay, that's kind of cool. I love this because I saw a lot of buzzwords. I don't really need to hear collaborative one more time though, but, I mean, it's in everyone's own. But I saw rigor, okay? I see all the things that I enjoy being a board member for is the things, the meat and potatoes of our education. And this is probably as close to it as I can get, is supporting Avid to make our education better and to enhance our staff, to arm them with what they need, arm you to help them so everybody succeeds. So it sounds like a super win to me as long as we implement, and which we seem to be. And I like the consistency because we've done this for several years, and it seems to be catching on, or not catching on, but I mean, we seem to be supporting it. So for that, I'm supportive. Any other questions or comments?
I want to ask, middle school and high school, do you see a thread from students that come up from the elementary AVID programs through middle school to high school? Do you see evidence of that?
At Northridge, we are absolutely starting to see that, yes. So
You are.
they're doing school-wide binders at Southview. We're seeing some of the different, like the one-pagers and different techniques. We don't have to explain it in the same depth that we used to years ago. So you're able to quickly refresh them on the strategy and dive into the knowledge that you're supposed to be learning through that strategy.
Thank you.
The biggest thing I see is maybe increased expansion of observing students use strategies on their own, and them not being students that are in the AVID elective. Like it's regularly, especially walking into English classes, like we were even admin were popping into final exam periods at the end during final exam week, and I was going to English classes, and with regularity, like every student had highlighters out or marking the text. Well, I shouldn't say every student, but the majority of the students, and I'm looking around saying, I know not all these students are in the AVID elective. So that's, I think, where I would see, what I would say is I'm seeing an expansion of students utilizing strategies themselves beyond students just in the elective course.
Okay. Anything else? If not, we're voting on Summer Institute, AVID, $150,000 budgeted for. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that was a great presentation. I just want to say.
I enjoyed it. I'm just excited to see you guys excited about it.
Well, we voted yes, okay. That brings us to item 7, Northridge Middle School promotion ceremony date. Who's going to recommend it?
What's that?
The date, the ceremony date for Northridge? Okay.
So you are recommending the date of Tuesday, May 28th at 1 o'clock at Danville High School Auditorium? Mm-hmm.
4 tickets?
4 tickets per family.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
And Students will be bussed over, and it'll be a great ceremony. At, what was it, 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock on Tuesday, May 28th.
New Tuesday, May 28th.
28th. That's
Okay.
right. And the auditorium is available at that time. We
Cool.
checked.
I'm glad we checked on that.
That's right.
We'll make it available.
Yeah. And Mr. Dimon has made his scholarship available again for the outstanding 8th grader as well. So
Great.
we're working on that as well.
We don't need a rain date since it's inside, so
That's right.
we're good to go.
Okay.
Do I have a motion for it?
So moved.
I second them.
I have a motion, a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corbett?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. That is set now for Monday, for, whatever it is.
Tuesday.
Okay, graduation at item 8, high school. What do you have for us? Same day. Let's have an hour.
So Danville High School is asking your approval for graduation for the class of 2024 to be Saturday, May 25th. Due to construction at the high school on the football field, we'll be moving it to Danville Stadium and holding it at 10 o'clock in the morning. The backup date, due to weather, would be the same date, Saturday, May 25th, same time, 10 a.m., but in the DHS gymnasium. This would allow, both locations would allow students to continue to have 8 tickets per family.
8
8, yes, which is what we've traditionally done. So
in
we
the
can,
gym?
we can.
The gym?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It'll be tight.
I was gonna say. Okay, so before you have graduation at Saturday, May 25th, 10 a.m., Danville Stadium, and rain thing is 10 a.m. at DHS. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbett?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Can't wait.
Thank you. Now I'm going to the basketball game.
Okay. When?
No.
Item 9. I like this. Girls flag football. Yes.
Yes. Here we are.
I'm in. Not the game, but yeah, I can't wait to see this actually. Yeah.
Well, good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Geddes. As you guys know, I've been in front of you many times before, but tonight is pretty special. It's got me excited. Been thinking about what I'm going to say here for a number of days. I apologize to everybody if I'm a little bit long. It's the history teacher in me, but I also think that the importance of this moment deserves a little some time. So your vote tonight is important because this will allow girls to finally join the football world, which they've been excluded from or had limited participation in for the last 155 years since football first was played in 1869. Danville High School was opened in 1870, so 154 years for us, 155 years total. And girls typically get to play homecoming week, one game, powder puff, and that's their football experience. So tonight, with your approval, with your consent, that'll open up doors and opportunities that girls have not had in the last 155 years. A little bit of background, this is really being pushed for by Mr. Gritton, the high school athletic director. He can't be here tonight. He's running the regional that we're hosting tonight. He's been instrumental in pushing for this here in Danville. It started in his interview for the job when asked what he would like to see for the goal of the athletic program. He talked about adding girls flag football. From there, he went to the new administrators training at the IHSA office in September, and he came back excited and let me know that the Chicago Bears and USA Football were making a push to make flag football a thing in 24-25 in the state of Illinois. From that moment on, he and I probably have had conversations weekly, if not bi-weekly, about planning and trying to implement that for our girls at Danville High School. And we wanted to jump in as quickly as we could. especially if the state was going to approve this in 24-25, which they finally did at their board meeting, their executive board meeting on February 5th of this year. It was announced last week at the Bears facility, and a historic day. Mr. Gritton was invited, since he's on the front lines of this. He serves on the IHSA executive board for flag football. So he's been involved ever since he could get involved. So I thank him for that. It's really instrumental that he is that ingrained into making this happen for us. A little background on that to go a little bit further back. The Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Bears first started a partnership in 2019 to make this, to see if this was even a possibility. And what they found out is, as the Chicago Public Schools reached out to their schools, a lot of girls were really interested. And that started this conversation with the Chicago Bears. And then, as we know, the world went on hold for a while with the pandemic. And then post-pandemic, that conversation picked up again with the Bears and the Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago suburbs. And they had about 80 teams playing in the last year. And they really made this push. The IHSA needs 96 or 100 teams to make it an official sport that's going to have a state championship. And this year they've gotten to that. There are 100 teams committed this year, 140 teams committed next year to possibly playing. If approved tonight, Danville will be the first team south of Kankakee to have approved flag football for girls. The state, the Bears, they're looking to us to build this in the central part and the southern part of the state. The Peoria Public Schools will join in this year as well. They're in the process of trying to gain approval as I am tonight. And the Bears have reached out to us. They're willing to do whatever they can to help us through referee clinics here in Danville, some jamborees in the summer to help allow other teams in this area to come and to see what it's going to look like. In the following year, 25-26, there are a lot more teams in the area that have needed that extra year to go. We're ready because we've been talking about it since September. We also, after the September meeting, we surveyed 5th through 12th graders in our sports interest survey. The question that we ask on there every time that we give it is specifically to each gender, to males and females, and to the girls, the question is, what sport that we currently do not offer would you like to see? And the number one choice from 5th to 12th grade was football. So we heard their voices. In the last 2 days, we've had sign-up sheets in the athletic offices at Northridge and at Danville High School. And we've had over 65 girls come down between the two schools in just the last 2 days, with more coming that tell us in the halls, well, I'm going to come when we get there, when they can find the time. So there is interest. What we've heard from the Chicago Public Schools and the schools in the Chicago suburbs is that girls that play no sports have come out in large numbers for flag football. And interestingly, that's because nobody has played before. And so everybody is at the same level. You're not feeling awkward that, oh, they might be better than me. They're all coming to it at the exact same level of not playing before. And so that brings out the first timers, in which that's our goal in the athletic department, is to get more kids hooked in to the high school, to the middle schools, and build that. And we all know the results when kids get involved, they do better. And so that was really encouraging to hear. And then what they said happens is the multi-sport athletes that play grab that girl and say, hey, why don't you come out for basketball? Why don't you come out for track? Why don't you come out for whatever else we do? And then they become multi-sport athletes. So we're hoping that's the same model that holds true here in Danville, if approved tonight. I ask for your approval tonight. I hope that girls have this opportunity. I know there's interest, and it'll mean a lot to the girls. Questions for me? Or I guess you guys have to make the motion and then questions. No,
Yeah, we have to
I'll
make the
shut up.
motion, and then we'll
Yes.
ask you all sorts of questions. So
I'll turn it to you guys.
I would love to entertain a motion for flag football.
Move to approve.
Second.
Or not, I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments, board?
This is a fall sport.
This will be a fall sport. in year one next year, we're and I think probably in the future years, but we're going to allow girls to do multi-sports in the fall. We already do that, but multiple sports. The way we envision it kind of working is with the renovation at the football field and a multi-use surface that is a huge help for us. That volleyball will practice at their normal time at 3 o'clock right after school. They'll finish 5:30. We'll hold flag football practice so girls can go from one to the next. Especially in that first year, we really want girls to see which one, if they have to choose, which one they would prefer. So we're gonna be pretty flexible. Practices, we've talked about a 3-day a week just to fit in with when there's volleyball games or tennis matches or something that might conflict. We talked about a 5-day model, so we're going to work out those kinks if here approved tonight.
How many girls are on the field at a time?
7. So it's a 7-on-7. They'll play the full field. The max number for a roster is 25 for each team. So we can have a varsity team, we can have a JV team of 25 each, but 7-on-7. Equipment will be flags, uniform. I forgot to talk about funding real quick, but a mouth guard and then a soft shell helmet most likely. The Bears, through their initiative, are providing the initial startup funding for schools. Part of the reason why we wanted to get involved is they're going to run out of money pretty quickly, and they're waiting for our approval to finalize that process of providing us that funding. I know Mrs. Rankin will like to hear that. That's not going to add much of a. I see you writing already, and so that should cover our uniforms in year one. Mouth guards, if there was somebody in the dental profession. Anyway, we can try to tap into that maybe.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, no, but you're off the hook actually, because USA Football, in addition to the Bears funding, we learned today will send flags, mouth guards, and footballs as well to teams that are starting. Illinois is the only 9th state in the entire country to have flag football for girls.
So will they have teams to compete against next year
Yes.
possibly?
Yeah, we've reached out and hoping for approval tonight to a number of the teams in the Chicago area. Some are willing to travel to us. We'll go to them. A lot of the games will be played on Saturday. So 7-on-7, 40-minute running clock, 20-minute halves, 2 20-minute halves. So a game will take, there's a 2-minute halftime, should take 42 minutes for a game. And so games will be played on Saturday. We'll try, if we do travel to the Chicago area, on a Saturday we'll be able to play 3 or 4 games. And we talked to the Bears representative today, the Chicago Public Schools representative, and she was more than willing to help us and get some schools down here for us to play. Kankakee is interested, not too far. Peoria will be interested once they get approval as well.
And do they have to try out? Or do you know yet?
We don't know yet based on the numbers. You know, again, we have over 60 girls interested, which is incredible, which is a lot. We're hoping not to cut anybody, but if numbers get beyond what we can accommodate, we might
Couple
have
teams?
to. Pardon me?
Can we entertain
We can
multiple?
entertain 2 teams, with varsity and a JV. And I mean, ultimately, we could probably entertain 3 teams if needed. But it's growing. The Olympics 2028 in LA are going to have flag football for the first time. States are jumping on board quickly as well. So we're on the cutting edge. I believe we're on the front lines of this, and we're hopefully, Mr. Gritton and my goal is to help the rest of the state join in.
I don't know if the public really knows how instrumental our Danville athletic department has been in helping shape this IHSA state sports. You were very instrumental, Mr. Bases, in during the COVID era. I mean, we so much of what happened in this entire state was because of you being on the front lines of that. And now hearing that Mr. Gritton is part of the executive board for this new sport in the state, we're just really proud of the initiative that our athletic department has shown, and we're grateful for that. You're a feather in our cap, and we're grateful for that.
We appreciate that. We just want more opportunities for kids. That's the goal, and this is a historic one for girls. It really is.
Yeah.
I know we've had parents reach out to us through text, through email recently since the IHSA announcement. I know of a family that the girl asked the dad to go buy a football after they heard that it might be a possibility. So there's stories to come.
Dunham Sports should be, they should be happy with it.
They have them.
There's all sorts of possibilities here.
Will this advance to the college, or is it already in the college?
Excellent question. I had that and I forgot it. So currently in the state of Illinois, Rockford College is the only one that is offering scholarships. Again, the Bears and the CPS see more colleges coming on board really quickly. As the sports continue to gain interest and to grow, they expect many of the universities to have it and maybe even start at the junior college level.
Okay, great.
Okay. Exciting. I don't need to add any more. Oh, the running clock, I like that. Running clock.
Running clock, yeah.
Good or bad? I don't
think
know.
there'll be high scoring games. There's a lot of field for 7 kids.
That's the other thing. You said, and it's a full 100-yard field?
Yeah.
With 7 on 7?
7 on 7.
Oh, man, I'm tired just thinking about it. But that should be great. So that's exciting. And with our new facilities, it's going to be awesome.
That's
I mean,
right.
this is just like perfect timing. So I can't wait to vote. So if there's nothing else, roll call vote, please. This is on flag football is what we're voting for. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much and good luck.
Hey, thank you. Really, really, really appreciate it.
Boy, you had everything down. I was wondering about how many people would be interested in. I mean, you blew that out of the water. So
Hopefully it keeps growing.
yeah, well, that's very good. Okay, and on to something else. Curriculum. Math consultant.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes and the board. I'm excited to come back up. If you remember, a couple months ago, I talked to you quickly about coming back up and maybe talking to you about Karen, our consultant, when I brought up benchmark or our reading series CKLA, and I was right. I had to come back up and talk to you tonight about this. So I'm asking if we can take over our fabulous consultant, Karen, from Eureka and bring her on ourselves. And I have the memo and I can answer any questions that you have. The money that we were using to pay for Eureka will be just, that same money will just be moved over to pay for Karen. So it's not new money. It's the same money we already were using, that we already had earmarked. It is grant money. We'll be actually able to customize the plan even more than we already were using. And we'll just pick up and continue on and do even better things than we had planned when we were using Eureka. So if you have any questions, I can answer those and explain how we would use her.
We would probably need to have our questions, have a motion to approve a math consultant.
So moved.
Anyone want to second this? I'll second it, just because I want it to proceed, so. Any questions or comments?
I have a lot of concern about this, simply because it seems that we've invested a lot in math programs and in services for our teachers. We don't seem to see a correlation with increasing scores. In fact, the scores are decreasing some. And it concerns me to continue to spend money when we don't seem to see the benefits.
Well, this, I actually have prepared some information for you that shows that. So I have good news in that our FastBridge data is showing that our scores are going up. And so the FastBridge data shows that our math scores, the FastBridge data shows that's our basic level math. And so those are the basic skills, and so those need to improve first before our PARC scores and our IAR scores are going to improve. And so those levels are getting better. They're actually back up to about where they were right before COVID hit, which is great news. And so I have a document in here that shows that, and I can pass that out for you if you'd like to see it. And what we are our first goal is to get to where 80% of our students are above the 20th percentile. And in most of our grades, K through 8, we're at the 60 to 70% of our kids are about at that level, which is huge. So we're about where we were right before COVID hit. So it just took us a little bit to get back up there. And then on our IAR scores, we looked at our IAR scores, and in 4 of our grade levels or 4 of our buildings, we did make improvements in math. In 3 of our buildings, we didn't. We had a slight drop. The data for PARC is statistically insignificant. So like those improvements are statistically, there were some buildings that made a good jump that was significant, and there were some that dropped a little bit. But without doing anything, we have one math coach for the district that's out of our office. Angela, to get around to have her work with every single person in the district is really difficult. So utilizing this fabulous individual that's really, really good, and the teachers like her, the principals like her, to pair up another individual and to get her around, and she's been working with us for 2 years. Eureka is a brand new, it's our second year with the materials. It takes a minute to get everybody comfortable with those materials. Pulling that resource is not going to help pulling her and having Angela, taking that support away from Angela and just having Angela do this by herself is certainly not going to help our scores go up even more. So you're gonna, that will not, that's not gonna, you're gonna cripple that situation. We'll do our best. I mean, if that's the choice that you guys make as a board, I'm not the type of, our office will not give up. We'll keep working, we'll work hard, and we'll work hard with our teachers. Our teachers won't give up, and we will do everything we can to do the very best we can. But I absolutely will put my reputation behind Karen, and I have. The teachers love her, the principals that are here will back up that they approve what she does. I would not have done this if we didn't think that she does a good job. And she's made a big difference with the work that she's done with our teachers and our students. So she's quite impressive.
I would like to see the bar set a little higher than 20%. That seems like a
Well,
low
if you
bar.
think about so the 20th percentile, think mathematically.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of the 20th percentile, 80% equals 100%. So mathematically, that's what you're trying to do. So 20% and 80% equal 100%. So if you're at the 30th percentile, then you want 70%. If you're at the 40th percentile, you want 60%. So that's the first part. When you're looking at the bell curve, the 20th percent means that the students can, at that level, typically can handle grade level content. Certainly what we want is our kids, the farther you get away from the 20th percentile, the more they're able to handle grade level content. But at the 20th percentile, they should be, with some scaffolding, able to handle grade level content. The farther you get away from that, kids, when we're looking at gifted, that's at the 90th percentile. So from the 20th to 90th is usually where they're able to do grade level content. So that's the very lowest. Yes, we want the kids higher than that, but that's where we know that's just how the test kind of breaks the numbers down.
I would have to, I share your concern, Ms. Halloran. I feel like the bar is low. That to hear that we have only 80% that are at that 20, that 80% is the goal, but we only have 60% now, and we've been at this. And the concern is not just my own. The community looks at our test scores and they're like, what is happening? And it's not the fault of I'm not blaming any person. I'm certainly not blaming our staff. You know, but I think it was Mr. DeLawyer said, you know, the no excuses. And at some point we are, you know, that's their school's motto, or how your AVID pro is working there. And that's, you know, there are lots of reasons that don't equate to blame. But when we're looking at putting more money behind something we've been doing, and we're still at such a low bar, and the community, you know, that we're the ones who get asked about it. And so that's why we have to ask the hard questions.
No,
and
I
say, you know,
agree.
that I'm very concerned. And I did have one other question, and I'm not sure I feel fine about what I just said, but if the total hourly rate for this math coach is $155.45, that includes adding in not just her hourly rate, but her airfare, her hotel, her meals. How many hours are we talking about over the course of a year? Like,
Well, this would just be for the end of the year. If you look at her contract, which I have right here, we had, and we can do how, like, you guys can set the limit at how many hours you want. I actually have. I can share this with you too.
But I mean, I'm just really looking for a number, Ms. Button.
It's in her contract. We have it in her contract.
Are we paying for her during her
Pardon? Yeah. Yeah, so if you look at her contract, it's very typical when we work with, like, every person that we work with that comes in, any consultant, they include their travel in that, in their contract here. I've got her contract in here, it's just, I have a lot of papers in here.
I mean, we deal with a lot of consultants because, and you know, the public needs to know we do that. And in general, because sometimes it's hard to find. So it's hard to find someone. And sometimes, like with special education, we have to have certain things because we're required by law to provide those things to not just even our own schools, but to the county. Am I right, Mrs. Bailey? Yeah. So when I'm having to think if this is an extra, and is it an extra that has actually given it the impact?
It has.
But I don't feel like it necessarily.
What we have to understand is what she's helping us do is understand how to teach our curriculum. So she's helping us understand. If you remember, you supported us buying new curriculum. So we learned how to use. She's helping us learn how to use Eureka, how to use those materials, how to teach math the proper way. And we've only had those materials for a year or two. So since she's come, our scores have, like, our data's already showing that it's improving in the year or two that we've had her with Angela. And so that's already made an improvement. So yes, we want our scores to be higher. Absolutely. So we've felt like this was one of the best ways that we can do that, because Angela is one person in our district, and it's difficult, as I've said, for her to get around and help all of the teachers and all the administrators learn the best practices and the ways to do that with the resources that we have. Because when teachers get new materials, it's difficult for them to if we just give them to them, it's difficult for them to understand how to use those, especially when they're in the process of teaching at the same time. So it's always good to have support when you're learning how to use those. So she's done an excellent job of helping the teachers learn how to use those materials and then learn the best practices with math at the same time. So in the short time that we've had her, we've seen an improvement in our scores. So we expect that to continue with her support. And so
here's where I'm coming with this, and I kind of wanted to hear it come from you, but thank you for handing me this. We see here it's $155.44 an hour, but I'm looking at this contract, and it says 60 hours on site a month and 30 hours remote a month, and that's $13,500 a month. And then, you know, if we're looking at how many months, we extrapolate that over a calendar, over an academic year. But if we did, this would be like more than like a lot of our administrators. You know, it's just for somebody who's working, you know, more than our teachers, for someone who's working 60 hours a month in front of our kids and 30 hours remotely. And that's just my concern. Are we being fair to the people that are our teachers and the people that are here living here? And how many teachers could we hire for this? And these are questions I'm asking just to.
I would love for us to have somebody, another person in our office that's able to do this. I would love for us to have that. That would be my number one option. But we're not able to do that because that would be the most ideal situation. Her price is actually cheaper than most. The reason that she's more money is because she doesn't live in Illinois. Right. If she were able to drive here, it would be cheaper. There isn't anybody else in Illinois that we're able to find. We have one person that we were able to get from the U of I, but he can only work with the high school. At the middle school level, he works with secondary. He's able to come and help us once or twice a month at the most. And so he's not able to give the time to the rest of the district that he can give, and his specialty is secondary, not elementary. We have dug and dug and dug and dug to try to find other people that can support math, and she is by far the best person. But right now, the only thing we've asked for, and she was already working with us, this is the same amount of money that we had earmarked for her to work with us. You had already approved for her to work with us all year. And this is the contract that we had with her. So this is finishing out her contract for just the rest of the school year. So she's not getting that amount of money that you would had. If we want her to come back next year, we would come back to the board and ask her to do that. It's very clear that you're not comfortable with that. It is not likely that I will come back and ask for that because I've gotten the message that is not something that you want. So we'll find another way to support Angela with math and the teachers in the district. We'll find another way to do that because I very clearly have gotten the message that that's not something you want. But we're getting ready for state assessments, and we had a plan that we were working with her in January and February until Eureka did this to us and pulled out the carpet from underneath us, and we've already lost those 2 months. And so now we were hoping that you were going to approve this tonight, and now
Hang on, pause. What do you mean Eureka pulled?
Eureka changed their plan, and Eureka was the company that she was working with,
Right.
and Eureka restructured all of their professional development in December. And so Karen was working with us all of last year, the beginning of this year. And we had an agreement with them that explained exactly, we said exactly how we wanted her, and that we wanted exactly how we wanted to use her with our staff, with our principals, with the teachers. And they, in December, came and said that they were completely restructuring and that they were no longer going to continue providing PD in the way that we wanted them to provide PD anymore. And it was going to turn into just where they came in and just delivered PD to the teachers, and our teachers don't like it when they do that. And it wasn't we couldn't customize it anymore in the way that we wanted to customize it. And Karen always would come in and kind of base it on what they had done the last time, the questions that the teachers had, where they were. So each building got it a little bit different. For example, Northeast was in a different place than maybe Mead Park was. And so she would customize the PD. What this would have done is deliver exactly the same PD to each of the buildings, no matter where they were. And that's not what they needed.
So we're not so Karen is no longer affiliated with Eureka.
Mm-mm.
So we were working with Eureka, but we got Karen. Now we're not working with Eureka because we want Karen.
Yes, because she is excellent.
Is there an option for us to continue working with Eureka?
I will not.
You don't advise that.
I do not.
Or recommend that.
Absolutely not.
Because they don't work with us the way that.
Right.
We want
I
them
don't
to.
feel comfortable. I have not been impressed with the people that they've introduced us to, and I don't think it would be of our best interest or for our students to continue working with them.
Okay, so to clarify, Eureka will no longer be our math curriculum.
No. Eureka, the materials are great,
Okay,
but their professional development that they're offering is not.
okay.
I'm not happy with their professional development.
I have talked to the staff. They do like her.
Mm-hmm.
They have actually really good things to say about her. All the staff members that I talked to really do like Karen, which was great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're doing great. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I do have a little bit of a different perspective as a parent because my child is failing math, and she has been failing math since first grade. So as a parent, I kind of feel like I have two hats. I get what the staff are saying, and I'm glad that she is able to come in. She comes in at what they said that she comes in, and she teaches math, and then the next day they get to ask the detailed questions. They really like how she does that with them. It does help them. I had one teacher tell me that she doesn't feel like she needs that anymore, but she could see the benefit of a new teacher coming in who would need those steps. I understand that. I get that. I struggle because my child, my personal, and I know there's other parents. How is this going to help the children who can't tell you what 7 + 8 is?
So I assume you're specifically talking about Northeast.
Not necessarily.
Well, okay, in the example that you gave, so we have recognized that
I talked to other schools besides.
Oh, no, so what we did is after the last time that Karen was here in December, I went and we meet with Karen, Angela and I sit down, and every few months we meet and we talk and we regroup and we figure out a plan as we move forward. So we customize based on buildings and kind of where they are. So actually, Mr. Thorlton and Angela and his math coach, because what we're trying to do is get some of our staff members, I'm sorry, I really need water. It's okay. Thank you. I drank all my water in the back. Appreciate it. We customize the PD based on where the teachers are. So where the Northeast staff is, the teacher's right there that some of them are beyond that type of support. So what we're trying to do, they're ready for this is gonna sound odd, but they're ready for some error analysis where they look at the types of mistakes that the students are making as they're doing their work, which would combat some of that stuff that they're doing. Now, the students that are really struggling with, they don't know their math facts. We're having a lot of conversations about that as in our office and we have every month, we just had it last Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, we have a math person from each building, and we look at all of our math data and we dive into that. And we try to figure out how can we best support all of the buildings and all of the students and what kinds of things do we need to do better. And we just started this, I think, was it, Mr. Hart, was it last year, the year before with the math committee? Maybe even before that. Yeah, it hasn't been that long. So we've started, so each building has a representative and we're getting our legs under us and we're trying to work with that. So Angela comes, I'm part of that group, the building principals are coming, and we're really looking at our data and trying to figure out what do we need to do to really kind of dig in and fix these things. So if you look at that paper that I handed out, we were including, now that Karen's not part of Eureka, we were gonna have her come and help us with some of that. Because math is such a, most elementary teachers like when I was in my training, I had 1 or 2 classes in math. I had a lot of classes in reading, a lot of classes in psychology. I did not have a lot of math training classes. And so it's, especially with some of the specialized skills that the kids are coming in, so we're trying to figure out what to do. And we're really narrowing down, like we've got it narrowed down now where we think we found like 3 really good interventions for the skills that you're talking about that we can really give to the kids. And we also learned that the teachers, some of the teachers through Karen were not necessarily focusing on the right pieces, because when you get a new curriculum, sometimes it's like you're going to a restaurant and you see the whole menu and you're not sure which parts of the menu you need to pull in to eat the best meal. And so what they've learned now through Karen is which parts of the curriculum of Eureka they need to make sure that they teach every single day, so they're getting the curriculum the right way. So we're getting better and better and better at it. We're not perfect, and that's why we need to keep going with this. We are getting so much better, but we're not perfect. And then we need to tie in those interventions where the kids need it. So we're just starting to get our momentum going, and we're starting to feel better, but we just need some help. If we, Angela will do it. She'll do it by herself, but it'll be slower going. It'll take us a little bit longer to get that going. But we'll keep working at the math committee and try to figure those things out.
Okay, so you're looking at $54,000?
Just for this year. And we can do less. We don't, and we're down to, that was if we did.
No, I just said the number for everybody is $54,000 for this year. We're looking for the contract for this year for $54,000 for PD for Eureka Math, okay? I'm just gonna say, for continuity's sake, I'm supportive of it because we just put this program in place. And I think it needs to be supported. And if we didn't do this, that's what we have to play devil's advocate. If we didn't do this, then what are we gonna do? So it appears to be the best option at the moment. I see everybody else's concern, our math numbers, but we can argue that because the state numbers on math are terrible. So everybody's. But that's not an excuse for us.
Mrs. Button, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Your recommendation is, at this time, this is better than not doing anything.
Absolutely.
If we don't have any other choices.
No, we have choices.
No other options.
Mm-mm.
This is your recommendation to say, this will keep our program where we're at, and not just where we're at, but cause it to improve as we move forward. That's your projections that you believe if we keep going, it will not just sustain it, but get more training to help even improve.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee anything. The trend looks like it's going that direction.
But
If
you
we
know for
pull
certain,
it, it's going to be hard to show gains.
Okay.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to cripple the advancement that you've made, and didn't mean to suggest that.
No, and I understand.
Yes,
And the
but-
other thing too is this was based on those numbers when this was written was based on February, March, April, and May, and now we're down to March, April, and May. So we'll end up spending less money than that.
What I want you to hear, and I'm quite certain that you have, is that we are concerned, very
Absolutely.
concerned.
We are too.
About our math numbers.
And this is what we think is a help to that, and we are very concerned about that as well.
I'm concerned also about what interventions do we have in place currently for all students who are struggling?
We have, so each school has intervention time, and we just met with, as I said, we just met, and we have, the schools are getting ready to do their MTSS meetings, which is multi-tiered systems of support. So what they do is they're looking at their benchmark data, and they're going to look at their core and how they're spending their core time in math. And then they're also looking at the groups, their math groups, and then which students need intervention and what interventions those students should be placed in. Do those groups need to be adjusted? Do the students, and are they in the appropriate intervention? Do their interventions need to be changed? So that is the mid-year meeting is supposed to be happening right now. We just met the second Tuesday of February and had that conversation with reading, or with math, and then we met this Tuesday with reading. So those meetings should be happening right now. And so, and we have the list of all the interventions that they should be doing and what they match with.
I don't mean to be rude, but this is February, and my child gets done with 5th grade. So the other kids that are in the same boat, math builds.
Right.
They're not building, so do we continue to pass them on, failing math? This is February, how are we going to get them?
So, I mean, we already had, they've been interventions all year long. And if they haven't, it's difficult to talk about an individual student. I would love for you to call me so I can talk specifically
It's not
about.
just mine.
No, I understand, but each of the buildings have MTSS, and the kids should be in MTSS groups if they're struggling. And this has been, we set those up at the beginning of the year. So if the kids are having issues, the teachers have core. And in the core, that's where they teach the curriculum to fidelity. And then they also have small groups. So if the core, when they're teaching the core, if the kids are struggling with the core, then they get a small group. If the student isn't able to, if they're still struggling with the core and that small group isn't working, then they get an intervention. If that intervention isn't working, then they get they change the intervention or they get another intervention on top of that.
Okay.
And that is ideally what's supposed to happen. And so that requires a lot of time in the day.
It does.
And so sometimes if they need both reading and math, a decision has to be made because there aren't enough minutes in our day to be able to do both. And a lot of times reading will trump math because math, we can catch up a little bit easier with the kids with math than we can with reading. We hope not to have to make those decisions between reading and math. So, but that's what we work really hard with the teachers on. They have instructional planning forms that help them work their minutes out. I can show you all of this. It's just most people aren't interested in it like we are. So, but we have all those things to help the teachers.
Thank you.
Okay, so to refocus this, we are looking at the contract, 2024 contract with math consultant for $53,000, is it? What, 50?
Just through the end of this year, correct?
Yes.
For this year?
54.
Just for 54,000. Okay.
Mhm.
I should have kept it up there. And if I have any more comments or questions, if not, I would call for a vote on this.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes, motion passes 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with that. All right, this brings us to item 11. Dismissal of employees. We will take one at a time. So, I will make a motion to approve the resolution for the dismissal of educational support personal employee Ashley Wright for reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. I make a motion to approve the resolution for the dismissal of educational support personnel employee Jody Sassine for reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately.
So move.
I have a motion and second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. Make a motion to approve the resolution for the dismissal of educational support personnel employee Anna Collins for reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. I make a motion to approve the resolution for dismissal of an educational support personnel employee Kelly Newman for reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. You got that? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. I make a motion to approve the resolution for the dismissal of educational support personnel employee Trinity Law for the reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. 11B. Thank you. There you go.
Gotta keep things moving.
Batter up.
Yeah. Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, Seth Oldfield, Director of Operations. And I'm here tonight to present a recommendation to accept a settlement agreement and general release between the district and the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 399, which represents our custodians and our maintenance staff. The agreement resolves differences in interpretation of inclement weather days and how our employees are compensated when they come into work to shovel snow, spread salt, that sort of thing. There's also an MOU that clarifies going forward how they will be compensated.
Okay. So you would love us to approve this settlement agreement on inclement weather days?
Yes.
Okay, may I have a motion for the approval of the settlement agreement on inclement weather days
I move to approve.
Second.
for 24 from, well, 123 from in 2024. Okay, a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Just
Great.
to,
Oh.
sorry, just to clarify, which union was this? It was for the custodian
Yep,
and not the DEA.
correct.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 399.
Mouthful.
Yeah, yes, but we should mention it for the motion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Policy updates. First reading.
Oh, I thought she was gonna.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna.
So, in order to be compliant, we needed to address a few of our policies. This is the first read, and if you would like, we could have a policy committee meeting to go through them in depth.
We'll see if that is amenable to our board. So we could do that if we chose to do so, or go on our own if we'd like. So thank you. We have the first reading, and we'll make that decision as we go forward. Okay, any questions or comments, board? Okay, great. 12B. Approval of Administrative Procedure 620, school year calendar and day.
I'm all about that school year calendar, you know.
Yep, you're the owner, you're the king.
Ooh, am I ever?
Or wizard.
Okay, the wizard, I like
Yeah.
it. Good evening, board. Dr. Geddes, I'm John Hart, Assistant Superintendent, and I am here asking for your approval, on the first reading, of Administrative Policy 620. This is the only administrative policy that requires board approval. Most administrative procedures are nothing more than forms. However, Board Policy 620 lays out that the Board of Education defines a school day and the length of a school year, and the length of a school year and the start date and the end date. So what this really does is clarify the length of a school day and follows the state of Illinois guidelines that were just put out. And so the length of a school day, as defined by Administrative Policy 620, is 5 hours, with a half day being 2.5, in case you couldn't do the math.
Figure.
And that's the minimum required. I'm not asking you to change the length of a school day, just to adopt what the state requires to be considered a full day of school. So it's just for consistency across the district and really across the state. You know, it's part of the school report card now, so we'll look at that as well moving forward. But we really need clarification. There's some variance in building to building, and this will put us on the same playing field as everyone else.
Okay, board, I would entertain a motion for this.
I move we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to let it, so that we adopt the state recommendation of 5. We just acknowledge it with the state.
Absolutely, that's pretty much what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what assurances do we have that we have a 6-hour day? Now we're asking to approve a 5-hour day, that in fact, we won't change to a 5-hour day.
Well, the school board could change that at the next meeting if they chose to do that. But you do have the board policy. So, and it's, we have an administrative procedure now that I don't think anybody could tell us how long of a school day it calls for. So that's one thing. We have no desire in this room to change the school day from 7.25 hours. This is really the state's way of, I guess, standardizing across the board what a school day is, and it's basically for reporting reasons, to be quite honest with you.
So is the 5 just like the minimum? Is that what the deal is?
The 5 is the minimum to be a full day.
To be a full day.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay, any other questions, comments? Seeing none?
Wait, let me just add, the bigger reason for the 5-day is because as school districts are embracing an alternative learning program, you have, if the 5 is adopted into your clock day, for our kids in alternative learning and our students who want to begin to do internships, which is what we're trying to move to here in Vermilion County, you need to attend school for 3 days. You have to have 3 hours of instruction, and then 2 of the hours we can give credit if they go to work outside the school district. And that's part of our bigger plan. But in order to have that, you have to have adopted their 5 hours as the official, that's the clock hour. Those are the clock hours before you can start to do some of these alternative education things and internship things.
Okay, which we're interested in.
And it has to be part of the 5 hours. So, yes.
Be wise, B5, that's our new model.
I like it.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Sign me
it
up.
must be 12. Remember,
Yeah.
7 to 7. I like to get from 7 to 7.
Whatever. We're just voting on 5. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corbin?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Power?
Yes.
Dr. Atkins?
Yes. Motion approved. Okay, item 13, Danville District 118 Discipline Improvement Plan.
Wow, how exciting this is.
Yes.
So district improvement plans are required by the Illinois State Board of Education for school districts who have suspension rates in the bottom 20% of the state or expulsion rates in the bottom 20% of the state. I'd like to start with, we are no longer in the bottom 20% of the state for expulsions, so there's something to
Woohoo.
celebrate. And the alternative programs that Dr. Geddes has spoken of have really taken us out of that number. And we have improved our suspension rate. We were number 2 in the state. We're no longer number 2 in the state. So
Don't tell me
our
we're
plan
3.
is working.
We're not 1, are we?
So we are not. We are
Yeah,
not number
see,
1,
I
and we
know
are not
this
number
trick.
2. And I'm going to leave it right there.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Okay, so I will say that this year, all we had to do was resubmit last year's plan, and I thought, easy peasy, nothing to it.
Yeah.
Already part of our school improvement plan, and looking at it, think there's really a lot to be said for the things that the administrators, the teachers, the union, the directors, Dr. Geddes, the board, are really putting towards suspensions. Some of them with not as much effect as what we would like to see. We have some very good programs out there, research-based programs. We have outside consultants. We've approved a lot of programs, a lot of mental health support throughout our district. We've spent a lot of money, a lot of ESSER money. And again, I don't think that we're necessarily seeing, well, I know we're not seeing the success we'd like to see with some of our kids' behaviors. And some of them are struggling with mental health issues, and some of them are the effects of poverty or what have you. You know, the struggle is still there. So again, what started out to seem like a simple plan ended up looking into, okay, we do have a district improvement plan, and it has a discipline portion of that. So really, I looked at that. I mean, it was pull that plan out, put it in this plan, easy peasy. You start putting the pieces together, and there's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort that I believe is sometimes overlooked because of the numbers of suspensions that we have in our district, to be quite honest with you. I looked at just the programs that were funded through ESSER funds, and I just want to name a few. And I want you to think about what great programs they are that you've approved. And again, not saying we should get rid of any of these, but again, I would like to see better results than we're getting. But partnering with community agencies, so we're right now partnering with It's In Your Head for self-regulation, Gateway Counseling Services, Deaf 20, which is the wellness and lifestyle counseling. It Takes a Village mentoring. We have CrossPoint Human Services in our buildings. We have Dr. Mahone, who is a pediatric psychiatrist. We have Survivor Resource in our district. University of Illinois, Dr. Tan, and the social work program. We added stipends to our PBIS teams in each building. We have extended school year services, and a lot of that is for behaviors, smaller group of students. Professional develop, we've done teach, train, thrive training. Can I really say training in that one? We Rising Tide Conference, Conscious Classroom Discipline, STAR Trauma Informed Practices, collaborative problem solving, and zones of regulation is being implemented in, I'm saying, every elementary school, and I'm sticking with it. So there's a lot of programs, a lot of money that we've put forth. Dr. Geddes did take the initiative to add a letter to the back of this plan that will be submitted to the state first thing tomorrow. So
And
I
let
hope,
me tell you why.
I hope that you have taken the time to read her letter. It was really good for me to read it, and I didn't actually read it until yesterday. So
I felt the letter was important because the state puts additional mandates on my staff, my teachers, my administrators, and they were quite demanding about this discipline plan. However, they need to know what it's like to be in this trench. The reality is much different, and what you know. Yes, I'm gonna have to go have a whole meeting because we are number 3 in the state with suspensions. They don't understand what it's like to be in front of some aggressive children and some dysregulated children and what we are actually experiencing in the classroom. And so until you walk a mile in our shoes, I'm gonna need you to give us some grace and or some resources. And so yes, they have been very generous to me with the money. Yes, they have. However, they need to understand that south of I-80, it is difficult to find the human capital, the people to actually implement things. And it's a disconnect between what they're experiencing above I-80. You've given me the money, but I don't have people to implement it. I think part of what Mary Ellen Button was just saying to us is, initially she wanted a person in her department to help because the one math coach is not enough. And what people don't, math is a language. And so if you don't understand that A plus B equals C, but yes, truly minus D times X minus Y over X also equals C. If you don't speak that language, you can't help children think differently. And as K-12, K-8 educators, we're not trained in that. It's not our specialty. It's a course or two that we may have taken in our training. And so I can't just hire someone as they hire somebody. No. And so I gave Meb the challenge of get a consultant. If we can't find a body, get a consultant and see if we can go around it that way. Now, yes, the money is a concern for me as well because of her rate. And then finally, Meb had to tell me she's the best I could get. I don't have anyone else. And with that, we stopped talking. There was nothing else to say. This is all we have. Many times, this is all we have. You know, we've been in that boat before. And so, you know, I didn't want to say, you know, stop calling me Isby about this plan. But they need to understand what we're going through in the trench. So I truly hope that you take the time to read that letter.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, comments, more before we vote on this?
I have a comment, a comment, but do you want a motion first? Move to approve?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we'd already done that. Okay, thank you. Who seconded it?
I'll second.
There we go. Now we have a motion.
So my comment was to say thank you, Dr. Geddes, for writing that letter. It's a very emphatic letter. And just to remind folks, maybe not everyone knows that when we were negotiating this contract with the union, one of the things the teachers were very concerned about was the level of discipline issues in the classroom. And we had lots of discussions, didn't we, Alan, about how, I mean, we were really going to try and come and address this issue together. And I appreciate that is part of your leadership and leading the board to be able to do what we said and to really be able to it's hard to push back on the state, but to do that because our teachers are the trenches is the right way to put it, and we appreciate it and we'll fight for you. So thank you.
Now, if they cut off my funding in the morning, I'm going to send this
They
letter.
won't do that.
Okay, so this is the discipline improvement plan that you have before us. I have no question, so if there aren't any other comments, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Fowler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Mrs. Drake?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Amended balanced school calendar.
Oh, school calendar, must be me. Tonight, I'm up here recommending, not necessarily happily recommending, sometimes I get the tough jobs as well, that Northeast Elementary School, Magnet School, is kept on the traditional calendar for the 2024-25 school year due to the ongoing renovation, almost rebuilding of Northeast Magnet School. So I ask for your approval.
No, it's first reading.
It is a first reading? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be
that's it.
back.
But I wanted to add to what he said, because there were a lot of concerns from Northeast parents, and I want to make sure this gets out. Yes, our staff, and students have done a wonderful job in making it through the construction and the noise. Well, we were working on the addition. Now it is time for us to come into the building where the students are currently housed. And we cannot do that with them in there. So there's some safety issues. We just can't build the cafeteria around them. So that is why, with the delays in getting materials, the supply chain demand, and the staffing challenges that the construction teams have had, we're behind schedule. So certainly we hope to be done right on time for the start of the day, right? The school year, right, Mr. Truex? No.
That's the goal.
That is the goal. We cannot do it when the Northeast would normally start their balanced calendar. It just can't be done. with them in the building.
Thank you.
We guarantee it.
No, we don't.
I just wanted to say it so you would say no. We do not guarantee it.
Can I just point out that the staff is being told by the workers that they're ahead of schedule? I just want to point that out. That could be part of our problem.
It's not necessarily the scheduling. A lot of it has been materials and the movement from the new addition into the older part of the building.
Just want to make sure you guys know what is being told to other people. I don't know if you even knew that.
I have spoken to some
Look
of
at
the
Skip back
Northeast.
there. You can see the steam coming out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Truex and I spoke exactly about that, about are they on schedule, are they behind schedule, and they're pretty much on schedule, if not ahead of schedule. But the schedule now puts them in the old,
And they don't have the supplies
in the
way
old
they should
problem.
supposed
So
to have them.
I understand the decision, and certainly we can't put kids at risk with people building around them. I understand that. But I am not happy about how the decision was made. And that was pointed out a lot in the letters that I received and the comments that I received. The staff was wanting to be included in the discussion, not necessarily the decision. They understand it's not their decision, but the discussion. It wasn't clear to me until I got your email, Dr. G, about what the reason why was moving into the old building. I didn't know that until yesterday. And I think if we were better communicators with our staff, we could have avoided a lot of the conflict that happened. And I would urge you, Mr. Hart and Dr. Geddes, to think of the staff and the people that it impacts. And involve them in the discussions at least before a decision is made, before a memo is put in a board packet. That just seems only fair to people involved.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
thank you.
And to Thorlton's credit, he wanted to have a discussion somehow with his staff, and he was not given the ability to do so. I don't know where that went askew, but I agree with you. It should have been done ahead of time. There should have been some conversation, and certainly if we were able to empower them with this information, they would understand, oh, we can't be in the building while they tear down the cafeteria. There should have been some conversation, and it won't happen again.
Can they be kept abreast as things move forward from this point?
To Mr. Truex's credit, he did tell us this was gonna be a 2-year project, and so that there would be delays, and we would have to come back to him. The timeliness of getting this information is a problem, and then having to come to the board with it. My team will do a better job when we have information, getting it to them, but that may also mean that we don't get it because it didn't come to the board meeting. That was the discussion. Do we tell the staff before we tell the board? And so it just became convoluted. Not a problem, won't happen again. Not this way.
Okay, onward. 15, agreement with Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation for future employee physicals. We have a recommendation.
We do. So Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation has been instrumental in not only helping our students get physicals, immunizations, beginning of the year, throughout the year, and even sicknesses, staff as well. I know several members of our staff that are using the clinic as well. We did hold a hiring fair in October, and we really looked for one-stop shopping, if you will. And so there were actually interviews held, fingerprinting held, apply for your certificate, and then you have to have a pre-employment physical. So at that time, we partnered with Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation at the clinic at the high school. Worked very well. It was seamlessly. Actually, we picked up 10 employees who are employed with us now, stayed with us. So worked out really well. Mr. Oldfield and I are in communication with Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation frequently. So we did work through an arrangement where if a applicant does not have insurance, that the district would consider paying a fee for the physical, and that way it could happen the same day or the next day. So again, if we would have another hiring fair or just to expedite the process, people need jobs, and by the time you do fingerprinting the whole nine yards, a lot of times it will take 6 to 8 weeks, and people take other jobs. So I am recommending that we accept this agreement for $65 per employee, pre-employment physicals with Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation. And if a person does not have insurance, that we pick up that tab.
That we pick up the tab?
Yes, sir.
Got it. Do anyone want to approve this? Want to make a motion?
Yes, I move we approve.
I have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? It's a good thing. It's nice to be able to have them here to be able to do that, so appreciate that. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Informational items?
Yes, I have quite a few. Any other comments? The comments.
Informational item A first.
Hurry up.
Can we go through the alphabet?
Go ahead.
A. Good evening, board.
Security.
Okay, so we are, as you know, the state no longer measures just reading and math for part of our school report card. So they do look at discipline, which we were able to talk about today. English language arts, which we were able to talk about today. Math, which we were able to talk about today. And attendance, which now we're going to talk about. I'm thrilled to death. It hits every one of our district and school goals. The conversation, and it's been a while since we hit all 4 in one board meeting, so I'm saying thumbs up. So we are bringing back our attendance award, and this time we're looking at really what the state is measuring, which is chronic absenteeism. I did not say truancy. Chronic absenteeism. Kelly's scared every time I say. Right. So chronic absenteeism, and so we have our first winner for December, and look, we have our lovely banners again for December.
Oh, I missed
so
that.
This is the school with the fewest chronic absenteeism, the lowest absenteeism in December of 2023, and this lovely banner goes to Northeast. Congratulations, Mr. Thornton in Northeast. Moving forward, January. So for January, the school with the highest gain. So we're going to do the highest gain from here on out, month to month. So the highest gain for the month of January 2024, in case you were wondering, believe it or not, Danville High School. So Molly Bailey will be accepting the banner on behalf of Danville High School. Thank you, Mrs. Bailey. Alrighty, thank you.
Are you done now, Mr. Hart?
Thank you.
All right, let's do a combo so we can get you guys out. Congratulations to Phil Shaw IV on his 4th place finish in the state for wrestling. Great job to him. Good luck to Alex Faulkner as he competes in IHSA's state swim meet. He was the sectional champion last weekend. He is the first boy swimmer to make it to the state since 2013. Yay, Alex. DHS's show choir was in El Paso last weekend. The delegation, first runner-up with best costuming of the day. Delegation also won first runner-up. Contemporaries grand champion in Univoice. And best soloist in show, Gavin Ball. Additional congratulations to the outstanding performers, Allie Cox, Aiden Cox, and Serenity Reed. Southview will be hosting a Black History concert on Tuesday, February 27th at 9:30 a.m. Please join us. and come out to our Black Heritage Monthly Assembly, Parents and Community Night, Monday, February 26th at 6:30 at the Dick Van Dyke Auditorium. Okay, next. So we have begun, let me do something else first. The Colleagues in Kindness, I know I talked about it last time, but just kudos to our team, our D118 family. As a family, we have raised $9,105.02 and have dispersed $5,500 to students and staff members in need. And so I just really appreciate how we take care of one another. Great job. Yes, clap for us. No pressure. So we've started our senior meetings and our senior visits, my senior meetings and it's going really well. Every parent of a senior should have received the letter of intro to tell you what we would be doing. And if you had anything you needed me to focus on, they could call. I've started to meet with the students. I've gotten an entire counselor's team done, all of her students. We focus on college careers. And thank you, DAC, for that resource booklet with all of the jobs that are available in, not all the jobs, the leading industries and the jobs and positions they have available. It was a booklet that I was able to give to the kids, send them home with homework. They came back over the weekend after they talked to their parents, circling jobs that they were interested in. Parents received a summary letter of our meeting, and some of them still going out. We're going to do a resume session for all of the kids who wanted to go into the medical field, because we're going to have another medical career fair, and for the students who wanted to go into the trades. So we're going to get their resumes together, and I am going to hand them out to the Vermilion Advantage executives again, and also mail them to other companies that they're interested in. We will have, I told you about the resumes and the careers. Yep, did that. And we have the students applying for scholarships. I recognize that there is a gap with the FAFSA, because the FAFSA on the government side wasn't out as of yesterday. I don't know if they did anything spectacular today, but parents couldn't complete it, which is a graduation requirement, because it's not ready on their side. And it's going to be a really tight timeline for colleges to turn that around when they would be normally making decisions right now. They don't even have the FAFSAs. So we will continue to hustle with that. We're going to return to the Board of Education when we do finish with asking for the ability to do our summer workers again for the students wanting to go into technologies and the building trades and into education. And yes, we have another round of Grow Your Own students that will be coming around to the board for approval. And I'm really excited about our kids and getting them to understand what's available here in Vermilion County. So I'm really proud of them. That's it for me. That's it.
Left to right. Pastor?
I would just like to say that I am appreciative again of all of our staff, our superintendent, board members, principals, administrators, teachers. I just get to visit some of the schools for a few minutes, and I just notice the extreme amount of work that's going on and the intensity that they are involved with every day, trying to educate our students. And it's much bigger than the public really knows, that all of the challenges that our district is involved with trying to educate our students. And I will make a strong appeal today to the parents. Every parent, you are the first line of defense for your student. When our district receives your student, we need your help. We have so many programs and every kind of educational opportunity that we can think of, but without the help of the parent and respecting the school district rules and regulations and honoring our staff when they come into the buildings, if there's any concerns, that no one would feel at liberty to disrespect our staff, and that they would honor everyone without the use of just not proper language, but that they would give honor to our leadership team and the same respect that they would like and need and desire, we also need it. And so again, I'm just making a strong appeal again to our parents, and no parent, I hope, would be offended that I'm making this appeal. We're just saying we absolutely need your help. Thank you.
Just to follow along Dr. G's comments and Pastor Miller's comments, as a grandparent of show choir, I attend show choir, and not only did they win first runner-up last weekend, the weekend before they were grand champions. Contemporaries were grand champions twice. Our kids are amazing. They're amazing, and I just want to share with you that 3 or 4 kids are selected every contest to participate in a solo contest, and they go up there before a judge and they sing their heart out. And every single one of the Danville kids, every single one of them attend that competition and cheer for their classmate, cheer for their kids. And the MC of the event said she had never, ever seen a school so supportive of their singers as our school. And that speaks so well for Danville and who we are. And I'm so proud of that. And then our parents, you talk about parent support. Yes, we absolutely need that. I agree with you. But show choir wouldn't happen without the parents. Those moms are in there doing hair, doing makeup, and doing the costumes and washing socks and washing, shirts at the end of every contest and getting them ready for the next contest. It takes a huge army of people, and they're there. They're there helping our kids and helping our program and really making Danville shine. So a big, huge thank you to them.
I want to thank all the staff who came and shared about AVID. I really enjoyed hearing all that good news. And thanks to Coach Gritton, who is bringing flag football, girls flag football. I loved what Coach Basie said about the fact that girls who would be their first time playing a sport in middle school or high school are actually trying out. That would have been me. I didn't, I'm like, I would have done that as a high school student here at DHS, and would have been a level playing field. And so it's just, I think we're going to get a lot more people involved, girls involved with sports than would have given themselves the opportunity before. And it's middle school and high school are hard years for girls, and so just one more way for people to them to come together, I think, is just offering such an incredible thing individually as people and as well as a sport. So thanks for doing that. And also, I just want to say thank Rachel Siebert for bringing her blood drive kids today, and congratulations to Sophia and Colton for earning that red cord. We're proud of you, and thank you for your service and your compassion toward others.
I just want to say I agree with Ms. Halloran and Dr. Geddes about how we communicated the whole Northeast issue. If we had just sat down and talked to our staff and our parents, we could have avoided a ton of phone calls and emails. Just communication. Like, they will understand. They won't like it, but they might understand better if it doesn't look like we're trying to do something shady on the back end when we're really not. But how it's perceived looked bad, and the parents were not happy. And I understand why they weren't happy. So if we could just communicate better, I agree. I completely agree with that statement. And real quick before I offer condolences? I want to offer condolences to the family of Alyssa Buck. She was a Northridge student who passed away on the 14th unexpectedly, and our hearts and prayers are with that family through that situation, and just tragic, but we're praying for them.
Thank you.
Dr. Ashton, I forgot one thing. I'd like to invite the community out to our church on this Friday, 7 o'clock. We're going to, in honor of Black History Month, offer a documentary on Juneteenth. It's a national holiday, but a lot of people are not aware and understand the purpose of Juneteenth. And so this documentary will start at 7 o'clock at New Life Church of Faith, 1419 North Bowman Avenue. Everybody's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We're all aware that it's Black History Month. It is also Children's Dental Health Month. Funny, yeah. So we'll just get that plug in there. We know how important that is. Please, if you have problems, seek a dentist somewhere. Great discussion this evening about things that I like to hear. First of all, I like the girls' flag football, but that we're concerned about the curriculum and the math consultant, and that we're concerned about the math numbers, and we're okay. And that was just one point. Then we have discipline, because we talked about we went through discipline during the summer, the concern of the staff, the DEA, but everybody. I mean, it's ours, and it's nice to hear that it gets revisited. Okay, and as a reminder to us, because we revisited it before the school board meeting, and we're constant reminders about discipline in our district, and how to get a handle on it. I will never get a handle on it, but how to manage what's going on. So it's an ongoing concern of everybody, but it's good to hear that we're all working. So between that and then hearing a fourth place wrestling finish out of our school, folks, that's incredible. That's really hard to do. And then we have a swimmer, a state finalist swimmer. That's another one. And these are extracurriculars that our students are involved in, not just the school. So show choir, we know we love show choir. Okay, so I don't need to go on that. It's music, so they're always awesome. So it's great to hear all these things, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for all the other things that all the other kids. We haven't even heard from future problem solvers. We know the other things that are out there that our kids are doing. So what a marvelous district, and what opportunities that you guys are offering our students. Okay, so we hope that we can continue to enable that to help our staff and administration continue that. With that, I'm thrilled this evening. I get to also give the distinction of saying that we're going to stay here for probably another 45 minutes because we have more discussion to do, but the rest of you guys can go home. So this part of the meeting is done, and have a good night. Go Vikings. Woo! Yeah, I'm going to send it to somebody.